When I tell you they are not far removed from their ancestry, this story that I'm about to talk to you about is an example of that. So this person's name is Axel Charles Cox. Now, when I first pulled up his picture and I kept seeing these two side by side, I'm thinking they were two different people. But every time I kept digging to see if there was another person involved, it kept bringing these two pictures up. And the reason that is because they are the same person. Now, bear with me here. This is his jail and prison photos. The event that I'm going to talk about happened back in 2020, which of course was about 2 years ago. So his looks have changed since then. I don't know which one is the recent one. No, I don't know if this one is the 2021 or if this is the 2021 or if this is 2022 and this is 20. I don't know, but it's the same person. At least that's what it says. It's the same person. But anyway, I'm going to go along with it with the story. This man is out of Mississippi and he pled guilty to federal hate crimes because he took a cross and burnt it in his yard. Yes, you heard that correctly. This man burnt a cross in his backyard to intimidate his black neighbors. Now, here I am sitting here saying to myself, why would you burn it in your backyard and put a patch into your backyard? And then it dawned on me, this guy's too much of a bitch to actually go across the street or next door to his neighbors and set up that cross and burn it on their yard, because they know they would have hemmed his ass up. They would have cleared him off the table and laid him out on the slab, and that would have been all she wrote. So he had to go and put this on his lawn in his backyard where his neighbors could look out and see it burning across the way as a signal to them, I guess, to let them know of who was there. But that makes no sense, because remember, back in the day, they would take the cross and burn it on that black person's lawn. He's doing his ancestors a disservice by doing that. But okay, let's go ahead and find out the additional information. A Mississippi man pled guilty to a federal hate crime after burning a cross in his front yard to intimidate his black neighbors. Axel Charles Cox faces a maximum of 10 years in prison and up to a $250,000 fine, or both. Nearly 2 years ago, on December 3rd, 2020, which by this time, the time of you reading it, it would have already been over 2 years, Cox made threatening and racially derogatory remarks toward his neighbors, put together a wooden cross on his front lawn, doused it with motor oil, and set it on fire. Now, this was in 2020 during the pandemic, so maybe he felt like, oh, I don't want to go over there because I might get the woo-woo. But then again, even if it wasn't that, I have a feeling that's exactly what he would have done regardless. Federal prosecutors said that Cox, aged 24, admitted that he did so because of his neighbor's race and the fact that they had been occupying the house next to his, so they were his next door neighbors. Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark, the first black woman to lead the Justice Department Civil Rights Division, noted that the burning cross did not happen in an historical vacuum. Burning a cross invokes the long and painful history, particularly in Mississippi, of intimidation and pending physical violence against black people, Clark wrote in a statement. The Department of Justice will continue to prosecute those who racially motivated violence to drive people away from their homes and communities. On Thursday, Cox entered into a plea deal that has him admitting to one of the 2 counts of the indictment. The hate crime statute punishes those who uses force, threatens force, or intimidates based on their race, sex, or national origin because they were renting or occupying a dwelling. Cox had already been serving an 8-year sentence for drug possession and receiving stolen property, according to the Mississippi Department of Corrections. At Cox's arraignment in September, prosecutors obtained a warrant to transfer the verdict from state prison to federal court to face his hate crime charges. The cross-burning incident occurred some 17 months before his unrelated lockup. Assistant Director Luis Caseta of the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division emphasized that people should be free from threats and intimidation. The FBI and our law enforcement partners will continue to bring justice to anyone who violates the federal laws designed to ensure civil rights are protected. U.S. Attorney Darren LaMarca from the Southern District of Mississippi praised the collaboration between local and federal authorities. Cox's attorney did not immediately respond to an email requesting for comment. And there's some more additional stuff in there, but it's really like unrelated to this story. So this guy, let me correct myself. I thought he put it in his backyard. He put it in his front yard. to intimidate his next door neighbors. Like I said, he burnt a patch into his yard to scare his neighbors, quote unquote. He didn't have the balls to go and take the cross that he made and put it in their lawn and set it on fire. He burned it in front of his lawn, which would be damage to his own property. Now, wouldn't that have been something if his little cross didn't hold up in the ground and fell onto his vehicle, assuming he owns one, or just fell out into the yard and just set his grass on fire? That would have been triple P worthy for sure. Imagine you burn your property up and then you still go into jail and have to pay a fine. But yeah, this, again, like I say, this is an example of not being far removed from your ancestry. This right here, what you just heard me read, is exactly why I say that statement. And this guy is 24. He's 24. He was born in 1998. If my math is correct, 1998, if he's 24, he's 9 years younger than me. People be thinking, oh, it's gone away. It's gone away. No, this is something that his grandparents most likely were doing. And he admitted to it of why he did it. So I don't want to hear, oh, it was a mental illness or he was going through something. No, that's crap. He did it because his neighbors were there. And I was looking up some stats from another article. Apparently, this place in Mississippi is like 66% PC and like 27% black. Imagine you are the majority of a particular town and the 27% is what riles you up and rubs you the wrong way. That just shows you how weak he is, that he got so intimidated and so mad for people just living there. Like I said, the funny part about this whole thing is that he put it in his yard. He didn't put it in their yard because he already knew that someone was going to come out and deal with him accordingly if they spotted him.